Good. Is it quite hot there now?
It's hot outside and very cold inside.
There's no winning on this, is there?
Can you hear?
No, DK. Yes, we can hear. Yes.
Anne, would you like to begin to start?
Yes, mine isn't so much a question as a comment, or that's what I've been thinking. John, you have always talked about it's now that is what is to be known, and that now is always right there. It's now, and it's covered up. It's covered up by ignorance and the accumulations of eons. And so now, it's the story of now that that one learns about through hearing the Dhamma and the development of intellectual understanding. And it's it seems to take a long time for it really to settle in that, in fact, it is just the story of Dhamma, and there is life goes there is a whole and it really covers up what is happening in reality. And I know I'm just repeating things we've heard and talked about before, but it's maybe there's just suddenly now more realization that yes, that really that is true. That's not just a story, that reality is covered up. It really is. So I always find it helpful when you talk about reality being covered up by ignorance and accumulations, and that with understanding there can be more understanding, more awareness of the fact that is very true, that what is happening in reality is covered up. Can you talk more about that, please?
I think that even it's right now, but no one knows. That's why there can be a little more considering about the truth, that how deep it is, how subtle it is, because it's there appearing, but no understanding of it. Just think about the truth of other things, other situations, and so on. But the truth of that which is there, it has to be known because it's there. Otherwise, what can be known in life? That's why the best thing in life is to understand the truth of it, but not just want to reach the level of realizing the truth. It's impossible. That's why if we understand more firmly that what is there now is so very, very subtle, very, very deep. Otherwise, it can be known when we just talk about it. But even we talk about it, it's time to develop right understanding of the truth of how subtle it is in order to let go. The I try so hard to reach the goal, to realize the truth of it. But it has to be by firm confidence of the truth. It's so deep. It's not shallow as the skin, but it's that so true. Each word of truth can be considered as whether it can be realized. It can, but not with ignorance, no understanding of what is there from the very beginning of understanding how much ignorance about it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if one take it for a very simple word and think that there is the understanding of such and such, it's only remembering what is said about it, but not the reality which is there as it is. Because it's gone instantly all the time, see? But since it's like that, that's so true that we can listen and consider the truth a little more. Because, all right, there's now hardness. But what is the experience is hardness, see? No thought about it. But it's so very important that it's there from birth and on and on and on, unknown until death, see? That's why how subtle it is. That's why understanding what is meant by parami, conditions develop to understand the truth stage by stage. So even listening to the truth has to be so very careful. Each word, for example, Dhamma, see? No Dhamma today to be thought about. It's only things around and people around, situation all the time. So how much understanding of just the meaning of Dhamma in a day, even no time or no moment to think about it in life. If we don't talk about it again and again and again, to be reminded what life is, it's just a moment of what is there now. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking. Is that right? But if there are those moments, those reality, where's life? Can there be life? Not at all. But it's there already. The thing is that, is there any understanding of what is there as it is? Because there must be birth and death. And birth, what is that? To see, to experience, only 6 ways, no matter in what plane of existence, deva or human or animal realm and hell and so on, only 6 ways for sure, not more than that. That's why even is there. What about the moment before experiencing one of the 6 ways? What is it? No understanding at all. That's why just listen to the words about the truth of it to understand different levels. This is only intellectual understanding, but it has to be so very skillful too, to understand the truth, to be conditioned for thinking, considering about it in a day. But each one can know by oneself how much ignorance and how much understanding of what is that. Just in a moment, from moment to moment. If there's no hearing, considering about the truth on and on again and again, no conditions, no parami to understand better and better, to see more. The subtlety is so very deep and very subtle, more deeper, more. It's more subtle than we can imagine. No one can imagine, but right understanding begin to understand and have firm confidence of the truth. What is there now is so rare and it's gone. It's there and then gone. Is that true? Because now, even we are talking, there is seeing, there's hearing, there's thinking, there's feeling, there's memory and so on. No understanding of all these reality in each life at all. That's why understanding the subtlety of Dhammas can let go the attachment or desire or will or wish to experience it instantly, but to understand it more, a little more, a little more. And life goes on as usual, as normal, by conditions in daily life. Because of understanding what is there, is conditioned. No, to try, it's wrong, because even that is a Dhamma. Whatever is there is a Dhamma. That's why by understanding the truth on and on, it let go the idea of I and things very gradually, unknowingly by itself. That's why listen today is not as yesterday or other day. And how would it be when there is more in a day, on and on and on and on, to let go the idea of trying to do something, because what is there is expectedly conditioned. See, even right now, unexpected next moment would be at all. Unexpected what can be thinking next moment and so on. But in truth, there must be condition for what is that to pop up. Why do we say pop up? If there's no understanding of this one, that false way, how can the other pop up? It just go on in succession, very, very secretly, unknown. That's why we learn to understand just one reality, not just in word, but from hearing again and again about the word, to consider the truth more careful, to understand the truth of it. And the result is that letting go, attachment or desire to try to do something in order to reach it, the truth so very soon and so on. And this is moment of letting go. And this is the very subtle path leading to the Four Noble Truth, because this is the path of the Noble Truth, the path leading to understand the first, not as soon as we can think about, but it's just so very, very gradually, comparing to the amount of the accumulation of ignorance and attachment and all kinds of akusala, eons and eons and eons ago. And it's not lost because it's there in citta, that which is there now. See, the accumulation of previous experiences by akusala and kusala is there. That's why after seeing, different kind of thinking about whatever is seen, people and things and so on, with attachment or anger or idea and so on. And this is life. If there's no understanding of life, it's impossible to understand the truth. Because what we take for life, in truth, no one, only the succession of the arising and falling away, non-stop, as long as there are conditions for it to arise, until it pop up. But it's not just suddenly. It needs the development from hearing, considering, to let go, wrong understanding and wrong path, to be so natural, because whatever is there has to be conditioned unexpectedly. Each moment, it's now, but it's not known as it is unexpected until right understanding is there. Understand the reality, the unexpected moment from moment to moment in life. So these moments of hearing, considering, understanding, right understanding develops secretly by its own way. And this is great patience. Without this understanding, there cannot be any parami to attain the moment of enlighten the truth of what is there now as it is. As we just said, it's there. That's why khanti, patience, virya, and satya, see, and nekama, and adidana is the moment of understanding. Without understanding, it's impossible to realize the truth of what is there now in each moment at all. So this is letting go, attachment, and wrong understanding to do or I, little by little. No other way. That's why listening with joy is time to understand the truth. No matter whether it's so very little, but it can be more, a little more, letting go, wrong understanding, and ignorance, which condition or unwholesome realities.
And the parami develop along with understanding.
Any moment of understanding, it is parami, panya
Parami,
parami. And moment is more viriya parami.
Yeah.
No matter what situation is, it is kanti parami. And adidana parami, no other way. Life goes on as natural, laughing, crying, thinking, liking, to understand the anatta-ness of everything.
Mm.
That's why it's listen with joy, because it's time to have a little more understanding of the truth, to be parami by conditions, unexpectedly, whatever appears clearer and clearer, unexpectedly. Understanding the moment of the very crafty attachment, just left there to wait, to try to do or wanting, as Panya is so keen that it can understand whatever is there as it is. Otherwise, what is not known or understood is conditioned to be someone or something because the accumulation of wrong understanding and ignorance. So long time ago.
Yeah. It's always very helpful to hear you speak about this, Ajahn. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And this is the only way, one of the Four Noble Truths, the last one, but it's the first one to develop the path to move just a little bit away from ignorance and attachment in citta every moment.
So very, very subtle, as you say, and much more subtle than one can think it is now.
Otherwise, it's not understanding the truth at all. Just talk about citta. Well, that is citta, each moment, experience, what is there appearing now.
Right. And one listens to that time and again, and there can be thinking about it, and if conditions are there, right thinking. And that it seems that there has to be so much of that it's so subtle and becomes more so all the time.
And this is the only way, because only Panya can understand this.
Yes, yes.
There was a good example, and at the beginning when you were chatting with Visita, just as I was logging on, and we think about other issues in life like medical problems, which we all have, and we think of these as getting in the way of our Dhamma study, not being able to attend a discussion and so on. But this is because we think about the story again and again and forget about life now at this very moment. Because when it's now, when it's the reality now, however life goes, nothing gets in the way, because seeing is still seeing, no matter here or in the hospital bed, at home or in Bangkok. It's still just the reality now. So I think the listening with joy means appreciating that there's no obstacle to understanding except the ignorance and the wrong understanding, thinking in terms of different situations that are a problem instead of just understanding how life is now. So it matters less and less where and when and what the place is.
It's attachment that takes you.
It is.
The place.
So it's the letting go that
Being with, yeah.
appreciates the joy. It is this moment,
Mhm.
anytime, anywhere. And it's a condition to mind less and
Yes.
just rejoice for others, but not be
Yeah.
concerned of missing out or being in a different place. As you say, that's the clinging to the
Yes.
story, not the understanding of
Yes.
seeing now, thinking now, pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling now, however life goes, because it can't be changed. It's conditioned just the way it is right now.
And I think it shows just how powerful the accumulations of ignorance are, accumulations of a lot of things, but certainly the accumulation of ignorance is at the root of a lot of this. And it's so powerful that hence the great attachment to various places, things, people. Yeah, thank you, Sarah. That's very useful.
Yes, the great ignorance, which doesn't let go and forgets about just life as it is now. And we think if this and this, if I were here, or if I was this, or I would study more, or it's just a long, long fantasy. It's
Well,
not
it
the
is. It
understanding now.
is. And one doesn't know. You just don't know.
We don't even know about the next moment. Now we're listening to the Zoom discussion. We don't know whether it will be ignorance at the next moment or understanding, whether it'll be seeing or hearing.
Mhm.
Nothing is known about the next moment at all.
That's right.
So it
Thank you.
helps to come so much back to now, as you said at the beginning.
Yeah. Yes, because without understanding that, you're really stuck in attachment and ignorance, which is where we're stuck a lot of the time anyway. But recognizing it is useful.
Appreciating that's the problem, not the time or the place or the hospital or the this or that
Right.
procedure, but just the ignorance now.
Yes. Yes, that's so true. Thanks, Sarah.
Al, do you have anything you would like to bring up today? Are you there, Tadao?
I have a question to Jonathan. That is the moment of nimitta and moment of panyati. How do they interact? Because if one becomes advanced in vipassana, he or she is able to see moments of nimitta as they are. But there must be a lot of moments of nimitta. And I'm wondering how do they interact with each other? That's my question.
Thanks, Sidal. So, what's your understanding of nimitta?
It's seeing, for instance, chitta chitta or rupa rupa. If one is able to see chitta chitta, that person is obviously seeing reality as they are, means that he or she can see nimitta as nimitta.
But what is nimitta?
I suppose it's a type of reality.
So when we talk about nimitta, we're referring to, for example, the fact that a Dhammas arise and fall away very rapidly. So how is it possible for example, some kind of akusala, such as attachment, to be the object of awareness and understanding? Because there can't be awareness and understanding of the akusala at the same moment, but it's the awareness and understanding of the following moment that takes the attachment as object. And this is explained by saying that actually what is the object of the awareness and understanding at that moment is the nimitta of the attachment, because the attachment itself has just fallen away. So one way of thinking of nimitta is like the after image of something that arises and falls away very rapidly, but there's still a lingering image of that reality. Are you following so far?
Yeah.
So there's no separate reality of nimitta. It's just the fact that realities are known by way of their nimitta.
Yeah.
So we don't need to overthink this issue, otherwise it gets complicated. If we think too much about nimitta before understanding is well developed, it can cause a complication, because we are trying to work out, as you say, what is the relationship between nimitta and realities. For example, is nimitta real or is it not? And that sort of thing.
Okay.
So Paññatti, of course, we are familiar with. It's a concept, just a concept. The object of thinking, the thought, the idea that is the object of thinking. That is Paññatti.
Yeah. Recently, I'm interested in seeing citta as citta, because for me it's very hard to see citta as citta. So I'd like to see citta as citta, but it's not easy thing. And I'm wondering whether citta appears as nimitta or not.
Nothing appears as nimitta. Nimitta is not known as nimitta, at least until very, very highly developed levels of understanding. And I think as one is approaching enlightenment, then that aspect becomes more apparent. But again, we shouldn't try to think about whether nimitta can be experienced or reality is experienced as nimitta. But why are you so interested in citta as citta? What does that mean to you?
Because citta doesn't appear like cetasikas, anger, attachment, they seem to be easy object of understanding. And rupas, such as visual object, seems to appear as they are. Or I wouldn't say as they are, but at least they appear. But citta doesn't appear at all. But I understand that there must be citta. Otherwise, all the rupas do not appear.
What about that moment of seeing or hearing?
But seeing and hearing are hard to understand.
I think when you say they're hard to understand, you mean they don't appear to understand.
They do not appear.
So can one make them appear by
No. It's
paying
not.
more attention?
No, it's not possible.
So if understanding is being developed, as you said, then at some stage, presumably, citta will become more apparent to understanding.
But to me, citta is totally hidden, totally covered up.
Well, that's another way of saying that it's not yet, doesn't yet appear to understand.
But at least there is visual object, though we do not know, or I do not know what visual object is in a precise manner. Yeah? But still, when there is visual object, there must be citta, which perceives visual object. But that kind of citta doesn't appear at all.
When we just think of it as the experiencing of visual object, instead of trying to think about citta as such, just the experiencing, because that's what citta is.
Yeah.
The experiencing of sound. What about thinking? Does that not appear?
It appears, but full of self. It is I who is thinking or contemplating.
Well, when you say full of I, there's a lot of thinking that goes on without any necessarily idea of I, isn't there? What about when you're thinking about something that happened yesterday, or you're thinking of what's going to happen tomorrow? Of course, it relates to oneself. That's inevitable, because what else is thinking going to be about? But the fact that it concerns one's own world of experience doesn't mean that it's an idea of self.
Yeah.
What about when watching television, for example?
Yeah, with lots of attachment.
Yeah. But also there is an experiencing too, and a lot of thinking. There's the experiencing of what is seen on the screen, and there's also a lot of thinking about what's happening.
Yeah, but each experience is important. So seeing, hearing, each experience is important. in that sense, I'd like to know what seeing is, what hearing is, and I'd like to know what chittas are. So,
Well,
but
if you know what seeing is, then you know what chittas are.
yeah, but
You can't divorce the it's not, they're not two different realities. It's just
Yeah.
the experiencing.
yeah, experiencing each moment.
Because obviously chittas are not known to any great degree when understanding is just being developed, when it's still not very well developed. So there may be an issue of thinking that the understanding should be more perceptive than it is, that it should be seeing a greater degree of reality than is possible at this stage.
But for instance, Cetasikaya, we have some idea of what Cetasikas are. For instance, Loba and Dosa. And also, we have some idea of Rupas. For instance, visual object and sound. But Chittas are difficult to understand and difficult to know. That's
Seeing, hearing, and thinking.
yeah.
Well, at a conceptual level, there's no problem, is there?
Yeah, but they never appear.
Is that a problem?
Yeah, big problem to me.
Expectation?
Yeah, a lot of wishing.
I think that, again, as we know, hearing the Dhamma, hearing the Buddha's explanation of realities, and considering it, which just means not actively trying to pin it down, but letting it filter through the mind.
Yeah, Sotapatti Anga. We have
Yes.
to contemplate what we've heard and practice Dhamma according to Dhamma.
Well, it's not a case of we have to contemplate, though, is it? There has to be quite a degree of hearing and quite a degree of contemplation of the natural that is not me trying to understand better.
Yeah,
The sort of reflection that happens almost without our being aware of it, conditioned by what has been heard.
yeah.
Okay, I'll pause there and let Sarah or John add some comments. Thanks to them.
Yeah. It requires a lot of kanti, patience.
And the other parami that John you mentioned.
Yeah.
Especially patience. And confidence that if the Sotapatthayana are there, then things will happen in the way that they should.
Yeah.
And one sort of patyanga leads to another. The association with the wise person is a
Yes.
condition for hearing Dhamma.
Yeah.
Hearing Dhamma is a condition for the right kind of reflection. And the right kind of reflection is a condition for moments of practice in accordance with the Dhamma.
But Yoniso Manasikara is a difficult concept. How can we have or engage in Yoniso Manasikara? It seems to be a lot of self-involved.
There can be an idea of self, but there can also be, I'm sure, if one is aware of it, a lot of reflection that it isn't being me trying to understand this better, but it's just pondering over and filtering through what has been heard.
Yeah,
Perhaps while one is engaged in, for example, you enjoy preparing food and so forth. So, but while you're doing that, there are different levels of thinking going on. It's not all related to what you're actually doing at the moment.
yeah. But in my case, I do not have any joy. By studying Dhamma, I have a lot of frustration, but not much joy.
Maybe too much expectation.
Yeah, probably.
And if there's the idea of how can we engage in Yoniso Manasikara, for sure it's I. It's not Yoniso Manasikara when it's
Yeah,
I engaging in it, or because it's trying or wishing to have it. So that's why there's no joy at those moments, because it's not the natural understanding with wise attention when there's the idea of I doing something.
yes.
And what about hearing now? Is there hearing now?
Yes, yes.
Is it anyone who hears, or just the reality of hearing arising and falling away, followed by lots of thinking, many more moments of hearing again and again? So it's just the reality which arises, hears the sound and falls away instantly. We don't have to call it citta, we don't have to call it hearing, we don't have to call it anything, but there is the reality which experiences the sound, which hears the sound, different from the sound that is heard. And it's not arising by my wish or will or trying to engage in it. It arises by its conditions when the sound is impinged on the ear sense, conditions for hearing to arise. So even beginning to reflect wisely, even though it's just thinking about the concept of hearing, it is the beginning of understanding. It is wise attention, but not I being engaged or trying to catch it or anything. But still, there are the moments of hearing now and the moments of thinking in between, moments of seeing. So different cittas arising and falling away by conditions now as we speak.
Yeah. I'm very much convinced, I'm totally convinced that there is no self in this world. And though I have that, I'm convinced that there is no self, but still it's not easy to see each reality as it is, or these realities as they are, especially seeing citta is not an easy matter.
So it has to begin with the considering, like you say, that it's just the reality, the hearing now, which hears the sound, not anyone, not anything to be found. And when there is the understanding, it has to be the sign, the nimitta of hearing, not one hearing chitta, but the characteristic of hearing, which is known by its nimitta. So the understanding becomes more and more familiar with the reality by way of the nimitta.
Oh,
No
okay.
one there, no thing there. And the hearing is understood different from the sound, which doesn't experience anything.
Okay. So it's not chitta. It's a nimitta of chitta.
It's a nimitta of citta that appears always.
Oh,
So the hearing itself has fallen away. As Jonathan said, there cannot be understanding of that moment of hearing, like there cannot be understanding at the moment of anger. It's always the nimitta of the reality which appears, even when, like you mentioned about advanced vipassana jnana, it's still the nimitta of reality, the nimitta of the characteristic of the reality that appears, not one seeing citta, one hearing citta.
oh,
The characteristic of the reality which experiences sound, which has fallen away, can be known by the nimitta more and more precisely.
okay. Good.
Let's see if Ajahn would like to add more to.
No doubt about it, Kuntada.
Lots of doubt. Not easy.
So it's the word of nimitta.
Yeah, I'm okay.
So what's the truth?
Nimitta of realities.
It's true. Is it the truth?
I have no experience of seeing nimitta.
With our Dhamma, can there be any nimitta?
No.
So now, no doubt about nimitta, because just one reality cannot be experienced at all, right?
Yeah.
By way of process.
Yeah.
So this is firm confidence of the truth, to understand that actually there's no one at all, only realities and nimitta.
Yeah.
And we can understand how fast it is, how very quickly citta experiences the object. Even 7 moments of jhana experience just one characteristic of rupa. See?
Yes.
But when it appears so many nimittas, not just only one moment of experiencing an object.
Yeah.
Is this a moment of letting go, very little of that which is taken for self? Is it joy to understand it?
No, I haven't experienced such kind of joy.
Because in life it hasn't been like this before. Begin to have firm confidence of the truth, to continue on and on, to understand it, not just forget it. Because it's there, as we have heard, as so true. As long as it is true, it can be realized. One day, when there's more letting go of taking it by nimitta to be such and such situation, I and things are around. Joy?
The joy I experience is the fact that it's associated with the fact that I I was able to encounter Dhamma in this life. That kind of joy
I
is
appreciate
great.
it.
And I don't know what kind of good karma I did in my past life, but I'm very happy with the fact that I was able to see Dhamma. I was able to associate with wise people, and I was able to have you as my teacher. That gives me lots of joy.
Not anyone be the teacher, only the Buddha. See, we are
Yeah.
the follower, but we can share and help the others to understand. So live to understand Dhamma and help the others to have understanding of Dhamma.
Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's why joy can arise with right understanding when there's more and more appreciation of the truth. That is so very subtle. That's why it can lessen the attachment, the wish to experience it by oneself, only by a little more understanding from moment to moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Through the parami in life, in this life, to develop to other life, next life, on and on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can learn more about what is there in order to be conditioned for letting go ignorance and attachment to moments until the object now appears to awareness, because there is right understanding of it to understand it when it's there with awareness. That's why Panya understand the difference between no awareness and moment when it is awareness of a reality with understanding. Right now, anything, hardness or seeing or hearing or thinking or liking, unexpectedly.
Yes. Yes.
A little more joy.
Yes. Yes.
It's just daily life. Mhm. No one knows what would be the next moment, but it's there now. And everything is now because whatever is there gone secretly, knowingly, until right understanding develops on to understand what is there unexpectedly, even right now, by conditions.
Yeah.
It's so very subtle. That's why it's only Panya which understand it can let go ignorance and attachment.
Yes.
So now we know a lot about this moment, but they are there unknown, right? Attachment for sure, ignorance after seeing, attachment, and so on. But it can be led to understand the truth gradually by itself.
Yeah.
That's why I keep on hearing, considering at any time, but by conditions. Understand even that. So what we take that it has to be quickened, which is not right, because it will prolong the moment of understanding. But the moment of understanding the truth, no one can do anything, can condition moment of understanding what is there. So natural, little by little, so true, because it's only the path leading to understand anatthaness.
Yeah. I feel
now.
Yeah. I feel that I'm only following everybody. I'm simply following other people so that I'm able to develop some kind of panya and I would never lose my confidence in the teachings.
To understand what is there. When time comes, when there are conditions, not to forget it. Because it is a function of awareness. That's why learning to understand a little more of different realities in life, to let go the idea of I. That's why when there's no understanding of what is there in truth, in a moment, until whatever is there in life is not the object of doubt because of understanding little by little. It is the moment of letting go at level of pariyati. So what about at level of patipati and level of pativeda?
Yeah.
And what is there is only through 6 doorways, one at a time.
Yes.
No thought about it of doorway because no one can understand now the distinction between the 6 door, the 5 door, and the mind door.
Yes.
So how can reality appear to the 5 door, one of the 5, and how it appear to mind door? See, secretly, rapidly, all the time.
Yes.
That's why we learn about it in order to let go ignorance and attachment because of understanding a little more of the truth that is so very subtle. Only understanding little by little can let go ignorance, attachment, and so on. Wrong understanding. And that is the understanding of why it's the word of nimitta. Because the sense door experience an object and then mind door experience same object by conditions. So nobody can tell now what is sense door and what is mind door because they follow one another all the time.
Yes.
But learn to understand that that's why it appears only by nimitta, right?
Yeah.
More confidence of nimitta. It's not just know nothing about this process, but having more understanding of the truth, like processes, sense door, mind door. That's why it's always nimitta.
Yeah.
Everything's gone. See? Joy,
And
nothing is permanent.
mm,
And it has to be, the truth is the truth, never change. No matter even the moment of birth or the moment of death or the moment of seeing, the moment of thinking, liking, enjoying, so on. Never lasts at all.
yeah.
So understanding only can understand the truth
Mm,
at level of intellectual understanding, that it can condition moment of not only just understanding in words, it's there to be known,
mm,
but not by anyone. Only right understanding is there enough to condition direct awareness of that characteristic and begin to understand it, to be acquainted to the reality which is no one and nothing at all. And it can be on and on and on
Mm.
until it's moment of no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Familiar to whatever is there even when it's there, instantly, little by little.
Yeah.
And when life goes on with panya as this, the more letting go, the more understanding of the one reality until it's the pativeda appear as what is there? Only one. See, only one. What does it mean? Now, so many things, nimitta. That's why it does not appear as just one characteristic of a reality until it's only one nimitta of a reality. No doubt about that. One nimitta of one reality. Not like this moment at all. And that's the truth, the absolute truth that Buddha had enlightened from accumulation of parami so great, so long to realize the truth. That's why after his enlightenment, what did he say? All dhammas are anatta, all dhammas are so very subtle.
Yeah.
That's why. But it can be known. It can be more, there can be more understanding of the truth little by little, like now, see? And without this, this level of understanding, how can it understand the truth? Because the truth cannot be changed. What is there? Even is there hardness, it arises and falls away. But the moment when it falls away and it's arising, it's not known yet. Only the characteristic of hardness is there. Because it appears as nimitta.
Yeah.
And this is the absolute truth that can be realized stage by stage, unexpectedly. But without the intellect understanding, it's impossible to understand the subtlety of that very moment.
Yeah.
And this is firm confidence of the truth. No one. That's why it's wrong understanding to try to do, to sit or to walk or to concentrate on such and such. What about understanding? Without understanding, the truth cannot be known. It cannot be realized at all. Because it's taken for someone and something all the time.
Yeah.
Unknowingly about asava, see? But from hearing, we know the understanding begins to see that how much ignorance and attachment is accumulated from moment to moment, each day in life.
Yeah.
That's why this is a moment of letting go, to try to do something to have more understanding, but to listen and have understanding of the subtlety of reality. It's the only way to let go. The idea of trying to do something in order to understand it.
Yeah.
Because it has to be a moment of right considering of what is there as it is. As we say, yoniso manasikara. Is that manasikara now?
Yes.
See, without understanding different degrees of manasikara, it takes time to consider, to let go. Even manasikara is not known. So what about the nama and the rupa? It's only the nimitta of that which experiences an object. If we talk about the true reality in words. There must be the reality which now arises and experiences an object in a moment. But they are not only just one single reality which is achieved, see, more subtle. There are conditions for its arising, and they arise together, just in a moment of seeing or hearing.
Yeah.
That's why learn a little more, have a little more confidence along, on and on, until time comes unexpectedly. It can condition moment of being aware of what unexpected object. Can it be breath? See, which is the object of awareness. See, who knows? By conditions. And after that, what is there? Unexpected again.
Yeah.
That's why just not forget about what we have learned, not enough. Because it's forgotten. That's why it's time to talk about it, discuss on it, understand it. This is the only way. Being joyful,
Yeah.
Have opportunity or condition in life, in this life, to have moment of understanding the truth. Because who knows about next life?
Yeah.
And this can be joy too. Depending on conditions, just we talk about the joy of understanding. It's not it hasn't been arising before. See, only when it arises, it's there by conditions.
Yeah.
So live to understand Dhamma and help the other to understand Dhamma.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the best thing in life. And this is parami.
Yeah.
To understand that actually they are all dhammas, no one.
Yeah.
Different dhammas by conditions. No matter it is devas consciousness or lines consciousness by conditions, or the wise one or the fool one by conditions.
Yeah.
That's why the precious moment is moment of understanding Dhamma, listening, considering, and being aware by conditions.
Yeah.
And before we talk about awareness, even just moment of attending to the characteristic, but at moment of thinking about it in a day. So one knows the condition for each moment, whether it's enough to just attend by thinking that, oh, this is that which has to be known. Otherwise, it cannot be known. It hasn't been known. So the wrong understanding is still there.
Yeah.
Any time of wise thinking, wise considering comes from the accumulation of right understanding.
Yeah.
And without moments of considering, thinking about it, can it develop? Impossible. That's why we can understand the precious moment of understanding, no matter whether it's moment of reading, considering, or discussing about the truth.
Yeah.
Is there manasikara now?
Yes.
Is there awareness now?
Yeah, I can say that.
But it's not clear because it's not the object of any moment of experiencing it.
Yeah.
And this is the intellect's understanding until one reality is the object of awareness by conditions. It's another level. Is there hardness now?
Yeah.
And right understanding can know whether it's object of understanding, of awareness or not yet.
Oh.
That is the development of panya.
Yeah.
And Tadao, you mentioned before that you're very confident that there's no self. So isn't it a condition for joy when one reflects that there's nothing to be done, no one to try and have yoniso manasikara, no one that can change seeing, or like I was discussing with Anne, anywhere, anytime, there can be understanding because the reality is already conditioned, but not in my control. So no I to do anything at all. Isn't that like the dropping of a big burden and the condition for joy?
Yeah. Now I have less sort of burden with understanding that there's no self in this world, but I don't feel so much joy.
No self means no one that can control anything, no one can change anything. So what it's the letting go of the big burden of clinging to a self that can do and change and should practice and should control what arises and shouldn't have akusala and this and that and so on. So I think that letting go with understanding is very joyful.
Yeah.
Because the seeing now is just conditioned to arise. No one can decide what it will see, and it's gone instantly. The sound heard, conditioned to be just the way it is.
Yeah.
The like, the dislike, just as it is. So nothing to be done by a self.
Yeah.
So it's a big relief.
Yeah.
One can just relax, take it easy, because the dhammas just arise as they are by conditions.
Yeah.
And I cannot make understanding arise either. So the understanding conditions the patience, the kanti, because no one can change it. No one can do anything to force panya or sati or any other reality to arise.
Yeah. If I feel joy in a conventional sense, I have joy with the fact that at this advanced stage of my life, I'm listening to Dhamma and I'm having conversation with Dhamma friends and Dhamma teacher. That gives me lots of joy.
Yes, we're very fortunate to not only have heard and considered the Dhamma, but to really appreciate the truth, no matter how little it is, and to have the confidence that nothing else matters in life but the understanding now.
Exactly.
So it's very different from the joy of when cooking or having a pleasant time with Loba, because it's the joy of appreciation of the value of understanding.
Yeah. appreciation. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ajahn. Sarah, I have simple question about metta and karuna. How do you define metta and karuna in terms of cetasikas? What kind of cetasikas are they? And karuna.
Metta is aloba cetasika. I'm sorry, adosa cetasika.
Yeah.
And karuna is its own cetasika.
Oh,
So karuna is a cetasika.
Oh.
So metta arises when the object is other beings,
yeah.
when the citta is kusala, but
Yeah.
karuna just arises when that particular cetasika arises.
Oh, okay, okay.
So this is why when we read about the 4 Brahma Viharas, karuna and mudita are mentioned as particular cetasikas, but metta and upekkha are already counted in the cetasikas of Tattramajatata and Adosa.
Oh, okay, okay.
And now when there's friendliness with others around, thinking of the other's welfare, there is metta. But is there karuna when it's sympathy for the difficulties of others? So at particular occasions, like when hearing about at the beginning of the conversation about some issues people are having, there may be unhappy feeling and aversion, or there may be kusala mudita, kusala karuna.
Yeah.
Karuna with joy, not with unpleasant feeling, pleasant feeling.
Yeah.
When one hears about someone's difficulty and one feels sorry or disturbed, it's not karuna at those moments.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, good, good, good. Thank you.
It's good that you can join these discussions today. We're all glad to have you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important for me.
Berto, do you have any topic you would like to bring up today?
I like Ajah's expression, expecting the unexpected. I think it sums up the reality, which is an understanding. Just like understanding the present moment without any expectation. It's like expecting whatever is arising without any preferences, because preferring being choosy about dhammas is like not understanding, expecting or expecting the expecting something in particular, like maybe even joy or even metta and all the kusala realities, which are so different from the akusala and but so much more rare, and so there's very few moments of kusala in a day compared to the attachment and the ignorance and all the ugly realities. And the opportunity to listen to the teaching is so valuable because of having the chance to develop this very to increase these very few moments in a day, to make them grow, and yeah, I think it's such a gift which we have received, which and such a rare gift as well. And that's one of the, as Talal was pointing out, is one of the reason for joy is having being realizing this truth, this so it's yeah, even today I managed to listen to the truth. So it's today was worthwhile to live. I think much more than a day without any truth, without any listening, without any understanding. And tomorrow, we don't know about tomorrow.
And
But
expectations can sneak in anytime, even when there's the idea that by listening there will be more understanding, or we don't know about the next moment. There may be more attachment at the next moment. So expectations so common, the clinging, or can pop in any time at all. So good to know it. It can be joy, even understanding that it's there, that it's this clinging again and again. Like Anne said at the beginning, good to know about the clinging, and because it's now, it's daily life.
And this is the next moment, the unexpected.
Unexpected. No one has any idea, not in anyone's control. So it's joyful not to know, not to be able to do anything. Just a few moments left. Is there anything you would like to add before we finish, Ajahn? Are you there, Jan?
Yes, is there anything to talk about now?
I think we just have a little bit of time left. If you'd like to add any comments to what Alberto was saying, or anything you would like to share before we finish.
Keep on thinking about it, reading, considering. When time comes by conditions, that's all. Because even just one word can be thought about, different aspect, more and deeper, little by little too. For example, the word Dhamma, it seems like everyone knows. But in truth, what is Dhamma now? So just understanding that there are only Dhammas is not enough at all. It has to be understanding the reality when it appears as whether it's Dhamma or it's still something or someone. That's all. Be truthful to the truth. No one, so hardness, not my finger, seeing, no one sees, and what is seen, this is very important. If it's just something, it means that not understand the characteristic which appears all the time as it is yet. And no one can have it happen to be a moment of understanding. But from now, hearing again and again, considering again and again, little by little, it develops itself until the moment of understanding at any stage can be there by conditions, stage by stage. To consider or to understand what is there in life as we have learned cannot be there at all, because it has to be higher degree of understanding at other level. But at moment of thinking, even thinking about it while it appears now, as it's that which is there, not in word, to be known. And that is a moment of being just a little awareness of the truth, different from moment when it's there and then it's gone, unknown all the time. All depends on conditions, and this moment is conditioned too. สวัสดีค่ะ
Sawasdee ka, Jan.